how's it going? This is Tim with NFC North Monsters. This is my very first episode, and this is the beginning of the NFC North Monsters YouTube chat, videos, and so on. I'd like to give a little bit of credit to the guys at TTNL for giving me the courage in order to do this type of video. They always say, put your face where your mouth is. If you have opinions, put yourself out there. And, you know, I may stumble a lot. I can't break down film like those guys can. I mean, they are two of the best in the industry at what they do. And I give those guys a ton of credit. But they have definitely given me the courage to come out and try this. Um, like I said, this is episode 1. The NFC North Monsters is going to be more about the NFC North with an emphasis on the Chicago Bears, obviously, because that's my team. I've been rooting for the Bears since I can't remember when. It's been so many years, but also I want to talk more along the lines of the NFC North in general as well. It's truly one of the best divisions in the NFL. The black and blue division's been nothing but nasty for years. Always good teams. The Packers have good teams. The Lions will have good teams, and so will the Vikings. It's just, for me, the NFC North is my favorite division. Not just because the Bears are in it, but to me, it stands alone as one of the best possible divisions in the NFL. So my goal is to eventually have NFL fans from each team to come onto the show. I'm also hoping to upgrade equipment as the years go on, new cameras, new lighting, and so on. But this is just me. This is raw. This is the beginning. I just really wanted to try and put myself out there. Once again, I'm Tim. This is the NFC North Monsters. But hit that like and subscribe button. I do have topics I will talk about today. The first one, obviously, is Mr. Caleb Williams, the Iceman, number 18. And he is also one of the main reasons why I wanted to start the show. Is there's so much hate and biased towards this, just one of the most phenomenal quarterbacks, I think, to have entered the NFL. Will Caleb hit 4,000 yards? He's close, but honestly, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the Chicago Bears winning is what truly matters. And it really feels that way when you hear Caleb in his press conferences that he doesn't really care about the 4,000 yards. Yes, it's a goal. Yes, he wants to hit that. But at the end of the day, he wants to lift the Lombardi trophy. He wants to bring that championship back to Chicago. He wants the Bears to be relevant for years to come, just not a splash in the pan like many other teams. To me, I think he wants to honestly be better than Patrick Mahomes. He just has that flair. And oh my God, the way he makes his throws and how he goes about his demeanor is honestly eye opening and refreshing because he's not afraid of who he is. And we shouldn't be afraid of who he is. We should embrace who he is. Caleb Williams is by far the greatest QB that's ever going to lace up for the Chicago Bears. And I've seen them all. I mean, we all know the joke. We have more QBs than the Cleveland Browns. But you know what? I think it's ending. It's going to end. Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson together are phenomenal. And I think the NFL is going to be put on notice for years to come with this duo. Now, will Ryan Poles continue to be smart and build around him and build around the team? I mean, we obviously know the biggest struggles of all, which is the defensive side of the ball right now. And with the Bears not even putting in a waiver claim for Diggs that got released by the Dallas Cowboys, shows Al Harris had no faith in him and that he would not benefit the Chicago Bears team going forward into the playoffs. Let's face it, Diggs has been burnt toast almost all season. He has 0 interceptions. He's nowhere near the caliber that he once was, where he had 11 interceptions. But is Diggs a good player? We'll see. But he's not a Bear, so it doesn't matter. But he's in our division now. So it's kind of like Micah Parsons. He's in our division. We have to deal with him. But that's okay. The Bears just need to build around it and build. And they had probably one of the best draft classes, I think, in a long time in the last couple of years. Yes, there's been hiccups with Hippolyte, but I mean, honestly, there's been some good. So Luther Burden the third, phenomenal. Colson Loveland, phenomenal. Manangai, I call him Mongo to me because I know Steve McMichaels is always going to be Mongo, but I just like to call him Little Mongo just because of the way he goes out there and he's nasty when he hits people. You got chunks of his helmet flying off and he just gritty and he gets into it and he's not afraid to hit people and to make that contact. He's great and fun to watch. But yeah, Ryan Poles has had more misses in the NFL draft than I think he even cares to admit. But I think with Ben Johnson's influence now moving forward, and Dennis Allen, who honestly let's be honest here, is probably not getting another head coaching job. So he could be our defensive coordinator for years to come. And yes, I have been on the soapbox saying fire Dennis Allen just because I have not liked what I've seen on the field. But I've had to take a step back. I've had to look at what he's had to, the body of work, the individuals he has to work with, and it's not good. We've got a bad contract and Tremaine Edmonds that we need to get out of. Jalen Johnson not living up to the contract that he signed, and neither was Kyle or Gordon. Those guys have not seen the field as much as I would have liked to seen in 2026. And yeah, Edmonds did contribute really well in the beginning of the season, but he's definitely taken a step back. And I think it's D-Jack's time to shine. He has impressed me. He's embraced the green dot when he wore it. We're down to like no linebackers, but he stepped up. So I mean, these are the things that we're hoping to build on here in Chicago. And I mean, let's be fair. None of us expected the NFC North champions this year. We honestly didn't. But we're here and couldn't be happier. Like I said, Colson Loveland, everyone was hard on the Bears drafting him at number 10. Even I was like a tight end first round. We definitely needed an edge rusher more than I felt like we needed a tight end. We already had Komet, we had Smythe, we had other guys on the roster already. I was wrong. Loveland living up to being a number 10 draft pick. More than what I feel like Roma Dunze is for his number 9 pick. I'm not calling Rome a bust. I think Rome needs to focus on himself, get this foot healthy, and I think he'll be ready to go for the playoffs. And I think that's really what the Bears are going to do. He's obviously going to sit against Detroit. We got Luther Burden back. DJ Moore's not going to be sick anymore. Then you got Zach. You got, and let's talk about the Jade Walker. That kid, that might have been a steal in the undrafted free agency. So, I mean, we have a good core of wide receivers where we don't need to rely on Rome being there. It's okay to have Rome not there. So, let's just go with what we got and let Rome sit for another week. Hopefully that stress fracture or whatever he has on his foot heals, he's good to go because I'd much rather see a win against the Lions right now and come in as the number 2 seed because number 2 is just as good as the number 1. With that number 2 seed, we have the potential of honestly hosting everything up to the NFC Championship game, depending how the games go for the number 1 seed. Let's hope is the Seattle Seahawks. Not that I'm scared of the 49ers. I just don't care to hear the damn narrative of every game's going to be in Santa Clara up into the Super Bowl. I don't give a shit. What I give a shit about is the Bears coming out and kicking some ass against the Detroit Lions and doing a revenge game against them and showing, hey, it was just the beginning of the season. This is who we are moving forward. We are the kings of the North, and you're going to have to deal with us for years to come. I mean, look at what's happened to the Lions offensively this year. Still putting up great numbers. Don't get me wrong, but it's been flat. I would have really expected the Lions to almost have overtaken a number 6 or number 7 seed going into the playoffs. But they've really regressed. They're out of the playoffs. They're now booking tickets for Cancun instead of booking tickets for Santa Clara. So they're in dire straits they need to find out what's going on with them. So I expect the Lions to come out and try to smash us in the mouth as much as possible. They have phenomenal playmakers all over the place. St. Brown, you have Monty, Gibbs, Goff. When Goff first came to the Lions, I was kind of like, all right, here we go. He ain't going to do crap here in Detroit. He's just going to be a pushover. But Ben Johnson made Goff good. Goff was all right in L.A. Ben made him better. And that's what I expect the Ben Johnson to do with Caleb Williams. He's going to make him better. And it's going to be eye-opening for years to come. But, Luther Burden, that kid's a stud. I just saw a little video of him where he went back to see his home that he grew up in, where he said dreams weren't a reality. This kid plays with a chip on his shoulder. And he's out there to prove every day that he should have, and honestly, he could have been in the first round, but he just wasn't there. I think he landed to the right team. He fits with the wide receiver room perfectly. He's good. He's phenomenal. He makes great catches out there. He doesn't drop much. That's the one thing that Rome Odunze was supposed to have done, was not drop much. Rome drops more passes than I care to see out of a number 9 receiver in a draft. But we're moving in the right directions, though. And like I said, the next glaring issue we have to address is the defense. Can't do much about it now. We're going into week 18 of the season, final week. You're not picking up a Max Crosby in a trade because the trade deadline's long gone. And honestly, I don't know if I want to have that on the team. You're going to have to give up so much for one player that you might be able to find in the draft. And I feel like that's what Ryan Poles is going to do. He's not going to go out there and make some outlandish trade to bring in a Max Crosby to help you in the future when you can find a player of that caliber in the draft and just have the coaching staff coach them up right. Now, would I have liked to have seen Dexter do something? Hell yes. Grady Jarrett? Yeah, he came here to fix a fucking locker room. But other than that, he hasn't done shit. What, he got one lucky sack? Disappointing. I was really hoping a guy of his caliber would have helped pick up and influence the defense more, got them some nastiness, showing them what to do, how to become better. but it really has been lackluster with Mr. Jarrett. In our secondary, I hope to God they re-sign Nashon Wright. Give him a 2-year deal, 20 million, whatever. Kid's earned it. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He's made that known. He wants to stay a Chicago Bear because we gave him a chance. He was washed up. I mean, honestly, I don't know if the Bears would have signed him. I don't know if anybody would have. But those are the type of players that I hope we get. I know I've heard of there's players on practice squads that need to be looked at and should have been looked at long before right now. But, that's what Ryan Poles needs to do. He needs a gut check. And as the guys at TTL would say, performance over politics, without a doubt. Even I stand on that. Like, I don't care less if you're a first-round draft pick, but if you're the Booger King eater of the champion, and that's all you're good at, that doesn't help this team. I'd rather see the Bears succeed than anything else. I want the Bears to win games, the Bears to win championships, the Bears to be relevant more than I could care about who was picked where. That doesn't matter. On the field matters. In the locker room matters. How you are here to help benefit the Chicago Bears matters. So, how far will we go this year? I mean, right now it's one game at a time. I really like that mentality with the coaching staff. I just watched the presser with Dennis Allen, and they kept asking him about last week. He's like, I don't care about last week. I'm the same way. I don't care about what happened last week. It's over. I hope they learn from it. So when they see the 49ers again, they kick him right in the ass. They punch him in the mouth. I don't want to see Brock Purdy doing the damn Dougie again. And it's just frustrating that even though we had such a stellar performance by the offense, and hey, the defense had the pick six right out of the gate. I'll give them all the credit in the world for that. But just come on. We needed to take that next step. Kale was there toe for toe, scoring every time they scored. And it was fantastic to see. I loved it. That gives me hope moving forward to what this Bears team is going to look like. But, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, San Francisco was last week. Now it's on to the Lions. And this team isn't looking forward to what's after the Lions. They're only focused about this game. This game's the only one that matters to them. They have other coaches on the staff that are doing all the background of this is going to possible opponent. They're scouting that team and they're scouting the other possible teams, but not Ben Johnson, not Dennis Allen, and not the core of that coaching staff. They don't give one shit about anything other than this game. And it's refreshing. And the fact that these guys hold each other accountable and themselves accountable is even greater to see. I don't think I've ever seen that with the Chicago Bears. Maybe Dick at times, but I couldn't really tell you because, I mean, I was only 5 or 6 when I first started watching the Bears back in 1984. But it's great to see, though. And I think this team has a very bright future ahead of them. I'm just cannot wait to see what happens next. So I'm really hoping that maybe somebody out there can start to find my show. The plan is I'm hoping to go live once a week. I might even try to do something after the games. Just depends on how late it is. I do have other commitments, but my goal is to at least go live once a week and have some recaps. And like I said, I'm building this. I am the producer. I am everything. So I I'm not going to apologize, but I will apologize a little bit that things are going to be definitely rough in the beginning, as I start to get going and producing the show and creating better content for everyone. Uh, but hey, if anybody wants to start on the ground level with me, shoot me a message. We'll see. Um, I ain't doing this to make shit tons of money. Not even looking to make a cent off of this. I'm just here to talk about my beloved Bears, talk about the NFC North, and see how things progress. But one thing I do want to bring up though is Coach Ben Johnson. Could he honestly be the next greatest head coach in the NFL? Time will tell, obviously, but it's a hell of a good start. Uh, Ben started with the Miami Dolphins and then moved to the Detroit Lions, came up through the ranks with the Lions, and then now is the Bears head coach. 11-5 in your first year, you won the NFC North when you took over probably the biggest circus one could have thought of the Chicago Bears. It was piss poor ran, piss poor players that didn't want to be here, and he turned this team around and has it going in the right direction. I'll give Ben tons of credit, and I hope with Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren that they can continue to build something for years to come. And we're not talking about just a 4-year head coach and then we're turning it back over. I'd love to have a Mike Tomlin type of head coach where he's been here now for 19 years and he has multiple championships, or at least contending in the playoffs or continue to get to the playoffs the majority of that time. And I really hope with him and Caleb Williams that they're together for years. Kind of like what Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are down in Kansas City, or what Belichick and Brady were in New England. Those are the things that I hope. And I like the fact that Tom Brady really feels like he has his arms wrapped around Caleb Williams. Excuse me. And is mentoring Caleb. And the bullshit with Troy Aikman, Chris Collinsworth, those guys, give me a break. Your biased and your hatred is just ridiculous. Nobody cares about your god awful opinion on a human being like Caleb. Call the game. Don't be biased. That's one thing I like about Tom Brady when he's calling games is it feels genuine when he's talking, and he just doesn't go down narratives. He doesn't care. He doesn't bring up Caleb's nail polish. He doesn't bring up Caleb's completion percentage, which honestly is another thing I could care less about. First year in a new system, it's expected. Now, 10 years down the road, if Caleb's still only completing 50% of the passes, we'll have a way bigger issue. Year one, not worried, especially when you're seeing the numbers that the kid is putting up. Now, will it be amazing once he starts hitting those higher completion percentages? The ceiling is not even there with this kid. If that were to happen, I mean, he puts up the numbers he's putting up with the below 60%, but it's okay. It'll be fine. Caleb is the Iceman. Caleb is just here, and it's been great to see this year. Last year with all the sacks, but he has durability. That's the one thing that I can't say about a Mr. Jaden Daniels in Washington, which was the one thing that had me concerned, kind of like along with Michael Penix. And look where they're both at. Out. J.J. McCarthy in that same draft, I felt like he was a splash in the pan. You know, will he be good? Time will tell. But this was really his rookie year for JJ. But once again, where's he? Hurt. Out. The other two QBs in that draft, Bo Nix, Drake May. I honestly had Caleb Williams 1, Bo Nix 2, Drake May 3. So I think those top three QBs right now are doing exactly what they need to do. They're all in the right spots, right systems now, and everything looks good for all three of those franchises moving forward. Will Drake May have a historical career like a Tom Brady in New England? Time will tell. Will Bo Nix be the next John Elway in Denver? Time will tell. Who is Caleb Williams going to be ranked up against? A Sid Luckman? A Jay Cutler? Those are the two best QBs in this franchise's history. Caleb or Jay with the yards, and then Luckman. Luckman has way more championships than Jay. I really wish Jay would have cared a little bit more in a way, but the guy was gritty. Smoking Jay was fun to watch. He gave us hope. But I mean, that was a long time ago already, feels like. So let's see. Yeah. And that brings me to one of the other topics I was bringing up is the Chicago media and their biased approach towards Caleb Williams. It's definitely not the we love Caleb unless he's doing good. And even then, we're going to try to tear him down, like with the San Francisco game. Oh, they brought up the DJ Moore wide open. You name me one quarterback in the NFL ever that could have made that throw, and I'd like to see the video of that throw. There might be one out there, but the success rate on that pass is probably about 1% if you're lucky. Now, Ozzie effed up on his damn assignment. He didn't block the right guy. Tooney came out and said that he wished he could have got over there and made the block. 1-2 seconds is all that Caleb would have needed to get his feet set and deliver a dime, and that would have been another win. But once again, that's us going in the past again and living in the past. Every game has to be about the next game, about this game, which is the Lions game. So what do we have this week? We have the Detroit Lions. They're obviously pissed. They didn't make the playoffs. What are they going to come out and do? Are they going to rest their starters? Are they going to come out and play 60 minutes and try to knock the Bears out of the number 2 seed to go to the number 3, which would not be the most appealing because we got one home game guaranteed, and that's going to probably be against the San Francisco 49ers or the Seattle Seahawks at that number 6 seed. Well, I guess it could also be the LA Rams. It's going to definitely be an NFC West opponent, which that division was pretty solid this year. And that's good to see that, that's a lot of parity. Last year was the NFC North was the strongest division with only one team not making the playoffs. This year it's now the NFC West with the Arizona Cardinals not making the playoffs. But, it will be a tough opponent. If it's the Rams, they're a dome team. They tend to not succeed very well when they get to the outdoors. Who knows what better weather will look like in a year? Or not in a year, I'm sorry, in a week. When the Bears host their first game in the playoffs, which is exciting to also say. But if it's Seattle plays outdoors, coming to Chicago probably wouldn't be a factor, but it is Sam Darnold leading that team. I still have my reservations about Sam Darnold. I don't feel like he is a franchise quarterback to me. I'm sure there's fans in Seattle that will definitely sit there and disagree with it. They'll feel like Sam Darnold is the next coming of Dave Craig, but I don't see it. I've never been a huge Sam Darnold fan, but kind of like Baker Mayfield when he went to the Browns, it's the right system for the right QB. He lucked out last year. Sam Darnold did when he went to the Minnesota Vikings. O'Connell, I feel like unlocked a lot of potential in the kid and turned his career around. Because honestly, let's all be honest here, he was probably going to be a career backup for the rest of his NFL career, kind of like a Kenny Pickens. And who knows if that kid could ever turn his career around. But so we have that. We have the Rams who are going to come in. They'll be good. Devontae Adams will be back for them in the first round of the playoffs. I'd much rather see the Rams go up against the Eagles in Philly. Let those two battle it out. Let the Panthers and the 49ers go at it. Bryce Young, many wrote him off as a bust. I feel like he's bringing his career back around. I wish him the best of luck, and hopefully he does have a better career than what it was initially projecting to be. And then I want the Bears against the Packers, and then the Seahawks just sitting, because then that would put the Bears hopefully beating the Packers, which they should. That team's very decimated with injuries. So that would put us then against probably the Eagles in Chicago. So we'd have to definitely step up our game because the Eagles are getting hot at the right time. So that would be the one team in the NFC that I would worry the most about. But honestly, I feel like the Eagles and the Rams could definitely beat each other up. And who knows how that game could turn out. It could be a 50-50 shot of who's going to win that game. With the Panthers going up against the 49ers, I really think the 49ers are going to take that game. That's also saying that the Panthers are going to win against the Buccaneers, but let's be fair. It seems like nobody wants to win the NFC South right now. They're all like, no, you take it. No, you take it. So that's the worst division in the NFL right now, as on the NFC side at least, going into the playoffs. Nothing really makes me go, one of those teams is going to go deep. I don't feel like the Buccaneers are going to pull it out against the Panthers. I could be extremely wrong, but I think the Panthers are going to hold on and become the NFC North or NFC South champions and face the 49ers. With the AFC, the Broncos, the Jaguars, and the Patriots all look really good. I kind of joked with my father-in-law at the beginning of the year that he's a never Bronco fan. I was like, hey, well, how about a Broncos-Bears Super Bowl? It could happen. Let's just say that we wouldn't be at the same household watching that game because only one of us is going to come away happy. But the Super Bowl could honestly go through Denver on the AFC side. But that's putting a lot of forethought into what's going to happen in that division, because that division, it seems up and down with who can beat who on a given Sunday. Really disappointed with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills this year. Felt like they had high expectations but have struggled. I really thought for sure that they would have ran away with that division and ran away with the AFC, but they've struggled mightily through the season. Same with the Baltimore Ravens, who have had tons of injuries this year. It just seems like, in general, the NFC, or NFL, in general, has had a lot of injuries. There's always a huge amount of injuries every year, but, it's just one of those things that it's kind of a bummer when you see good players get knocked out for the year, um, especially like even a Micah Parsons. You hate to see the ACL injuries. The amount of Achilles injuries this year has just been astronomical. I kind of been blown away with how many of those have happened. Um, but like I said, this is my first episode. Um, it's I know I've been all over the place. Uh, I don't have any interactions yet with fans comment because we're brand new out of the gate. So I was hoping maybe I'd have one straggler uh, pop along on YouTube and somehow magically popped up and we could be commenting. Uh, but we'll get there. I hope to get there. You know, uh, but I mean, like I said, I really just enjoy the NFL, but the NFC North is my division. I love this division. It's got some of the best history, some of the best teams, some of the best players. I mean, you've had Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Alan Page, Bart Starr, God, the Brett Favre, Jim McMahon, Steve Michaels, Steve McMichael, I'm sorry. Um, the A Train, Anthony Thomas, John Randall. It's just been a fun division that I've loved to have watched for years. And like last night, I was watching some of the other YouTube content creators out there, and I do want to give credit where credit is due. That the boys at TTNL, and by no means I'm not affiliated with them. This is just purely me just giving credit where credit is due. Those guys are stand out. I enjoy also watching Greg Briggs with CHGO, also zero affiliation. Adam Rank, love the Sick podcast. Once again, no affiliations with those. It's just me as a fan of them, and I want to give them credit because they have encouraged me, even though they don't know it. They have encouraged me to get my ugly mug out here to put my face where my mouth is and to talk about the NFC North and the love I have for the Chicago Bears. Um, but I mean, I really want to make this show better. Um, I will look at any comments and every comments that pop up after the show airs. Um, I will take all the criticism in the world. Obviously, I know my microphone's not the greatest, my camera's not the greatest, my lighting's not the greatest, but I'm starting from scratch. This is ground zero. Uh, and I really just hope that I can gain some followers and we could all come on here and BS and talk about the Bears uh, and the North, or just in the whole NFL. We don't just need to pick one team and run with it. We can pick them all. There's 32 out there, so we can chat about a team. And I welcome everybody to the discussions. And if I feel like you can bring quality content to my show, I will bring you on. We could debate about it. We could talk about it. I'm not always going to be right. I definitely can't break down the film. I couldn't tell you about 90% of the plays that happen in the game as far as what they're called. So I am a fan, not a football evaluator, as George Hallis would say. Um, but I am definitely a huge fan of this team and the division. If you've watched it this far, please, by all means, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. So when I come on live again and you want to tell me how bad I am, I know. And I can start to improve my show to become a quality show, because I will definitely take accountability for the stupid shit that I might say. And that's another thing too. This is for adults. It's for mature audiences because there is f bombs and so on throughout this. Uh, but anyways, my name's Tim. This is the NFC North Monsters, and I look forward to continuing to grow. Let's go. Bear down.